All right. So obviously, we started off in the late 80s, early 90s is when we all started getting into fitness and working out and all that. Gyms weren't rampant everywhere. You had your Jack LaLanne, which is like your big your big box gyms now. It had the pool, it had the cardio equipment, it had some had basketball courts. They had all those amenities. And then you had gyms where they had workout equipment, maybe some tanning beds in the back, and that was it.
What about Nautilus?
Oh, full of Nautilus, dude, of course. Full of it.
Jones.
And then a small area of like bikes and a treadmill or two, like not big, but mostly squat racks and benches and dumbbells and Nautilus and pull down machines and cable machines and all of that stuff.
And rusty plates.
And rusty plates, and people were loud, and it was wonderful. And it wasn't super clean. And it was great. It was great being in that environment, dude. It was great as a guy. It was great. And a lot of guys, again, I'll go first with my experience really quick. Again, I was introduced to the gym by my cousin, who was going to the gym for many, many years and knew a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of powerlifters, knew a lot of people in the scene. So when I started going to that gym, I got to meet all those people right out the bat. And they knew I was Tom's cousin. They all knew it.
Yeah.
And for whatever fucking reason, they used to call me Nails. They're like, "You're hard as nails, brah. It's Nails." So that was my nickname then, with a few people there. And I remember I used to like help out clean a little bit. I used to get free tanning in the back because I would help clean and stuff. It was just
free
cool.
what?
It was cool. Tanning.
Oh, I need to work on my tan anyway.
I'm too light. So I would get. I used to get that for free because, again, I knew everybody. I knew the owner of the gym and all that because of that. And they used to tackle me and beat the shit out of me, too. They didn't show me mercy at all. Did you ever get tackled, even by a short guy that's built like a brick shit house? You ever get tackled by somebody like that?
Yeah, I was in football.
Yeah, right. So
not the way you're not ready.
Yeah, not when you're not ready and you don't have gear on. No. So
and they're on here.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, speaking of that, I could have gotten it if I really wanted to, but I didn't want to do that to my body at the time. I wanted to try. I did tons of supplements that I know now I wasted my money on, but I spent a lot of money on those things. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But I never would have thought of going on any kind of cycle or anything like that back then. Not even a thought. I felt like it was almost, for me, cheating. I wanted to see. I'm a young guy. I'm at my prime. People, young guys out there. When you're between 13 and like 25, dude, you're in your prime, bro. Lift something. Lift something.
Need help. You don't need help with testosterone. You got plenty.
You got so much testosterone running through you. Use it or lose it, bruh. Let your body know you want that stuff. Okay? And you use it, and you go to the gym, and you teach your body, like, this is what my body's supposed to have on it. It's some muscle. A man is supposed to have some muscle on him. Okay? That's just the way testosterone works. So I wanted to see what my body could do and what my genetics were capable of. That was me. I also wanted to be a personal trainer when I was still in high school, which I now have my own business. So, I mean, it's always been in my blood to want to do this stuff. But again, I never want to do that stuff. So that I grew up more in that situation. I was with the bodybuilders who were on shit. I was doing their workouts, and it was hard, dude. You're working with a bodybuilder. this guy Casey, who was Mr. New Jersey, Mr. Southern New Jersey, believe he was Mr. Universe as well. I did a work. Me and my cousin did a workout with him. We worked in with him one time. Holy shit. Fucking animal. But some of the best times I had was with those guys in there. I always felt so comfortable in there. And that's the point I'm trying to make, I think, is I felt so comfortable in there. Even though I didn't know everything. And you think I would be intimidated being around like, dude, this gym is full of bodybuilders. And I'm just some 16, 17-year-old kid working out here. But no, they were always welcoming. I mean, yeah, I was Tom's cousin. Sure, that helped. But I never felt uncomfortable. Now, dude, you're a guy in the gym. You got to keep your rim down, your head down, your music loud, and don't fucking look at anything. Do your workout and shut the fuck up. Or you might have some idiot say some shit that ain't true. You know, so then your workout, and you don't even want to go, or your workout's crap, or whatever. Or maybe you're just learning. Maybe you're a guy fucking trying. Dude, how many times did we do a workout or an exercise, like, stupidly, for the wrong reason? Or, like, be like, I'm going to do some chest press for back. Like, we all did some stupid things, right? But we never had to worry about somebody videotaping our stupidity and posting it to everyone.
Yeah, no, not like today.
No. So how many people does that turn off to going to the gym? Or have their first experience be terrible? Nobody wants to be made fun of.
No.
Like I said, even us as trainers, we didn't even want to go up to people doing it really bad and have to tell them, look, you're not doing that right. It's uncomfortable. So we would fight over who had to go tell the person to do it correctly. Because sometimes, dude, it wouldn't even be close to what the machine is for. It wouldn't even be close. So
well, you see people are videotaping people doing things completely wrong these days, and they're like laughing at them.
Why don't you get up and go help them? Why don't you get up and go help them then?
Would be like, yeah, be careful, you're gonna hurt yourself, bro.
Because here's the sad part, dude. Here's the sad part, that he will get less views if he would have went up and helped the guy and gave him some real good knowledge. Would have get less views than him being an asshole. That's
like for instance, there's an older guy at the place I go, and you know, he's really cool. We're always talking. He's real nice, older dude. He's real small though, real small. I think he's Italian, small Italian guy, but he's fucking there all the time. That guy's
we're everywhere, man. We're everywhere.
But I saw him one time. He was doing something. I'm like, you're gonna hurt yourself, dude. He was doing like upright rows. I'm like, go way lighter and just emphasize the negative and go a lot more controlled. I'm like, I think that it was like his grip or something he was doing, and I'm like, just watching you. I'm like, my shoulders hurt. Like I feel like you're gonna fucking hurt something bad.
Here's the thing with upright rows.
He's a gray. He's completely gray, old as fuck. Like he's way older than me. And I'm like,
with upright rows is you shouldn't touch those fucking things if you don't have good shoulder mobility. Upright rows should not be touched. I don't like them personally, but I don't think they should be touched by anybody unless you have great shoulder mobility. If you don't have that precursor, you shouldn't go near those things. Nowhere near them.
Yeah.
And again, I personally don't like them personally. I don't program them to my clients, and I don't do them. I've done them. I've done plenty. I don't do them anymore. I don't like the position that it puts my wrists in. I don't like how much can be cheated and where that cheating puts the pressure. I don't like how many people can throw.
I feel like I do good with them, but I can't do the close grip because of the wrists. The wrists hurt. Yeah. I go like more like about like shoulder length. I feel like I get a lot I get more of a response from that. I feel like.
And again, listening to your body. Maybe for you that works.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it. I would never do that steady. That's just like a shock thing.
Right.
You know, like instead of just doing traps all the time, you know, the normal shrug shit or, you know, barbell or dumbbell shrugs, doing it, just to switch it up, but really, really slow and concentrated, emphasizing the negatives and holding and really just not going crazy. But the wrists, man, I hurt my wrists really bad because I was doing rows like this, closer grip on a bar, and I'm like, oh my god,
It's not
dude,
natural,
my wrist,
dude. That shit ain't natural.
No, and I need my wrists for my job. I need my hands are very important for my job. Everything is my hands. So, start getting carpal tunnel. My hands start, sometimes getting stuck like this. Like my wrists have been so much better since I stopped doing all that bullshit.
Yeah.
You
Dude,
gotta
again,
body.
I run into it. Healthy wrists, healthy hips, healthy shoulders, healthy ankles. You won't have a lot of problems in life. I'll tell you. You won't have a lot of problems. But Tom, why don't you real quickly get into how it was when you first started at the gym, maybe an experience or two of yours, and what your thoughts are on if you would have had to deal with it now.
Well, yeah, well, my first real gym I joined was North Jersey Nautilus in Pompton Lakes. And it was exactly like very dingy, rusty weights. And the basement was where the free weights were. The Nautilus equipment was on the second floor, on the main floor where you walked in. So you walked down the stairs to the basement. They would always be playing freaking, hard shit. All a lot of crazy older guys, strong motherfuckers, a lot of guys on gear, of course. But there was one guy that would fuck with us. He was really geared up, though. You could tell he was geared up. He had to be 30 years old, but his face looked like he was 80. He had more wrinkles. His face looked like the map of Colorado.
It was like that book, A Wrinkle in Time.
But he was gigantic, and he was like,
sure.
he would fuck with us just because we were young kids, Yeah. But I remember going real heavy down there. I remember, breaking the 300 plateau, and I was like 19, 20, and stuff like that. But it was cool because we had we had accountability because the guy that would go with me, this is the funniest thing of all time, real strong kid, this kid Joe, me and him really got into lifting. He was a very strong kid, Polish and English. So that motherfucker had it in his genetics that he could move heavy shit. So very, very strong genetics. So he would be smoking freaking Marlboro Reds in between sets. So like we had this Italian guy. He's like, "Hey, where's Marlboro?" He's like, "There's my boy. Yo, come on, Marlboro. Hey, Marlboro." Like he busted doors. He's like, this fucking guy's going outside smoking Marlboro Reds, and he's coming down here and he's fucking lifting. And it's like hilarious. Like they were laughing. Like, what the fuck? Like he was overweight. He was way more overweight than I was. I wouldn't say I was overweight. I was actually in pretty decent shape in those days because of being in sports and just.
You would have been a hell of a power lifter.
Yeah, well, I would have if I concentrated on the right shit. But when I started lifting first, it was with little weights at home, nothing crazy, and I was so misinformed. I was ridiculous misinformed. Most of the places my mom and us and my sister and me and my mom lived was not a place conducive to having, and we didn't have resistance bands back then. I wish I did. Would have made so much more sense, but I had nothing to really work out with except just dumbbells at home.
Spring. You had that spring thing, remember?
Yeah. What, from the Goonies when they tie Brand up? So, like, basically, when you wake up, your clothes will be out of style, Mikey. Anyway, I was basically, like, there was nowhere to have a bench. Like, I remember, I think my grandfather bought me a bench, a weight set with a bench and everything, the ones that, you adjusted so you could have an incline and flat.
Yeah.
I think it even had a leg extension, pads on the end where you could put plates on. But I was like, where am I going to put it? You're going to leave it the fuck outside and let it get all rained on and soggy and rusty and shitty, which a lot of people did. Granted, you got to do what you got to do. But sometimes I didn't even have a yard. Like we had an apartment or whatever. And it's like, there's nowhere to fucking put these weights. So North Jersey Nautilus was the first place that I ever went that was a real gym. It wasn't no big box gym. It was a one-of-a-kind, only place. I would go from Lincoln Park to Pompton Lakes. It was a little bit out of the way, but we knew this other guy that lived in Pompton Lakes, and he'd been lifting he was an older dude, and he was lifting. He's like, yeah, come to this gym. This place is awesome. And we did good there, man. I really bulked the hell up in my early 20s. I got seriously big. I got some pictures I could probably freaking send to you. Maybe we'll put them up. But I was I was big back then. But I was lifting real heavy. But
that's the way to do it.
But even then, back then, we really weren't very educated on it. I wouldn't say. Now, also, the only thing I had to go on was what? Dorian Yates.
Flex Magazine, Muscle and Fitness.
Yeah, my idols were basically Dorian Yates and Nasser El Sonbati. God rest his soul. So Nasser was like the first guy I went crazy for, besides Dorian, because Dorian was the champ. But then after Dorian freaking, started taking over, it was just like the age of mass. The mass had come onto the scene, and all of a sudden you went from guys like Lee Haney they were big, and they were.
And you went to Mike Matarazzo, right?
Not quite.
Remember Mike Matarazzo?
Yeah, but he was nothing compared to Freakenstein Paul Dillett.
Oh, the Dillmeister, dude.
Paul Dillett was fucking scary looking. He looked like Frankenstein, too.
Yeah, he's scary looking now, the poor guy.
His head even looked square. It was fucking scary.
He's scary looking now.
But he didn't really have the aesthetics. He had, of course, tons of size, but he didn't really have the symmetry or the aesthetics or the development that a Dorian would have. You just couldn't fuck with Dorian. But like Nasser came on the scene, and I remember freaking laminating their workouts out of Flex Magazine and just like laminating them myself with tape, just taking fucking packing tape so that I would never get damaged. And using those workouts, I think to this day I still have a Dorian workout from a Flex Magazine. But back then,
awesome.
doing it back then it was amazing. It was amazing how effortless I felt that I packed on muscle. Now, granted, like I said, I was in football, so when I was, a sophomore in high school, I was in football. I was in PAL before that, but a real weight training program, doing triples and doubles in the summer, and then going in the weight room, and they were really overtraining the living shit out of us. I feel like we lost a lot of games because we were all just exhausted.
Yeah.
Like we should have been listening to Mike Menser. We should have not been overtraining. We probably would have fucking smoked people because we had a lot of strong dudes on our team. But I feel like by the time the game came around, we were all exhausted. We were all beat. Like Parcells used to even say, Parcells with the Jets used to say he used to rest all his running backs in practice because he said, I want them to have fresh legs on Sunday. And he got results. Parcells, come on.
Yeah.
A Jersey zone, Bill Parcells. He got a lot of fucking production out of that. And that's much like the Mike Menser principle or the Dorian principle, taking lots of rest days and recuperating. Whereas, when we were young, we were just like, no, I got to go to the gym every fucking day. And maybe we probably would have grown maybe a little better if we would have just recuperated and recovered a little more. But It was a great experience. And I feel like my body, especially from football, I feel like I packed on mass a lot easier in my 19, 20, 21 when we were doing that because of being in football and lifting when I was like 16, 17.
Absolutely.
Because football, those workouts were no joke.
No.
And I remember my coaches making me hold static holds on the leg extension machine. And they're like, hold it up there, fighting the negative. And that was the first thing I ever remember being like, damn, that shit was rough. But I remember my legs freaking grew like tree trunks at that time. They grew so fast. Yeah. So ridiculous. Ripped, shredded. I was in amazing shape. But, it's muscle memory, man. Muscle memory really is something. But when you're young like that, it's really a great time to strike while the iron's hot. And it'll only help you in your later years. Mm-hmm. Definitely. I suggest that anybody who's young, that's the way to do it because your body will thank you later as you get older because that muscle memory will never leave. Your body will always remember that. Your nervous system will never forget that. It's a computer. It's never going to forget that shit. So Even if you stop lifting for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, say something bad happens, you get back in the gym, you see these guys, they fucking gain the muscle back relatively quickly because they did it when they were younger.
It's easier to gain size back you lost than it is to gain new size, especially as you get older.
Absolutely.
So,
and I have that I'm going through that right now with lifting heavy again and doing a lot of negatives and stuff like that. A lot of Dorian Yates, Menserish stuff, dude, all of a sudden, bro, my shirts are getting really tight on me in a good way, but I don't really, I'm getting to the point already, and I've only been doing it a couple weeks, and I'm like, I think I need to curb it back and change it up because I really don't want to get too big and bulky. That's not what I want. I want to maintain muscle, but I know what to do to get it back very quickly, but I kind of want to switch it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that feeling. I don't want to wear like shit that looks too tight on me, and then I feel like I have trouble getting my shirts off all the time. I got these big Irish fucking shoulders. I don't have Colombian shoulders. I got Irish shoulders. Everything is like tight on me. Like when I'm scrubbing and doing surgery, putting on the surgical gown, it's an XL. The hardest place for it to tie is around my neck, the Velcro. And it's like most of the time they can't tie me up from behind with the Velcro. They can't secure it behind my neck until I get my gloves on, like until I can pull the sleeve up, because it's just my shoulder's just too fucking big. And like, what are we gonna do? Buy double XL gowns just for you? And I'm like, nah, that's stupid. Like, once I get my gloves on, you could do the Velcro. But these are the problems I have, where it's like, gaining too much size. I don't want that. I want to have muscle, but not ridiculous like that. Like that was good for when I was younger, but it's nice to know that I can get it back if I really need it. And it's nice to maintain strength and keep mass on, but it's not something I want to do all year long. No fucking way. No way.
I agree.
That's for younger kids.
Exactly. And that's what I want to leave off on. My suggestion to all you young guys out there, guys anywhere from 13 to 25, is if you want to have long-term use of your body, let your body, don't take steroids, don't take any of that shit, is that's going to mess with your natural hormones that you want. Okay? Don't take anything that's going to, because if you're a guy and you're taking something that's going to give you more testosterone, that throws off your body making testosterone, especially when you're young. So you don't want to touch that stuff. And there's so many other things. I don't want to get into all that now, but what I'm trying to tell you is you don't need any of it. First of all, gather around, kids. Gather around. Okay, let me tell you something. If your goal is to get chicks, unless your goal is to get gym chicks, most chicks don't want a huge guy. They don't want it. Yeah. They want a fit guy. They don't want a huge guy. So, spend those early childhood years bulking up, eating whatever you want that you can because you're young. Eat all that stuff. Work out, sleep, eat. Throw some weight around. Made some mistakes. We all did.
Absolutely.
But don't screw with your body in that sense, in the sense of bodybuilding and stuff like that. Don't mess with it. And then when you're in your mid-20s and stuff and you've packed on some size, you want to try to rip up and anything at that point, then you can screw around with things more. Unless you're going to be a teenage bodybuilder, that's, again, an outlier. That's different. I'm just talking about regular dudes that are, like, want to go to the gym. We all started that first day ever going to a gym. We all did it. That uncomfortable feeling and all that. Maybe you went with your boys and you kind of did stuff, but you still felt like everybody was looking at you and all that stuff. But that was the worst of it. Now it's terrible. So just know, guys, you don't need a gym. You can do fitness anywhere. Now, if you want to be a bodybuilder or a power lifter or anything like that, you need a gym. Unless you have your own house with a room in it, you can make your own gym. But if you're just a dude that wants to work out so you look good, you don't need a gym. You don't need much. So that shouldn't hold you back. And if you want to go, do it. I'm not saying don't, but don't let that hold you back. Eat, lift, sleep, repeat. That's what I think you should do. If you're a guy who wants to be strong and have muscle on him later in life. If it's not your thing, nobody's going to force you to work out as a young guy. Just be active. You don't have to work out with weights. Be active. Be able to do some push-ups, be able to do a pull-up or two as a kid. Squat, deadlift, lunge. If you can do those things and keep doing them your whole life, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. So that's my message, dude. Do you have any last message to the boys of today lifting?
No, that's pretty much I pretty much said it all, I think.
Okay, wonderful.
Take advantage of the hormones that are available to you while you have them and you're young. But synthetic hormones, outside hormones are not necessary, and all it's going to do is fuck your entire system up. You know, like once you mess up, just think of it in terms of a tree growing. Once you mess with that trunk and that tree starts growing crooked, there's no way to just reverse it.
No.
Like these days, with people with synthetic hormones, or say what you want, but not just testosterone, but people that are even changing genders. It's not it's a dangerous, slippery, messed up slope, because once you change, there's no going back. That's a one-way street. You can't go back and redo, because the hormones are basically a timed released chemical signal system from your brain, and once you cut them off, it's gone. It's gone. It don't come back. You don't go, oh, I get more testosterone now. That's why you see so many older dudes taking testosterone replacement therapy, or taking test boosters, natural test boosters, like natural roots that naturally boost testosterone, because it just goes down as you get older. So if you cut that off, there's no going back. Like if you started cutting it off for some reason, said, I'm going to just start taking more testosterone because I want, steroids or whatever. Now it's cutting off your natural release of it. So now if you cut that off, it goes, okay, you don't need me no more. Or then you have too much testosterone and your body produces more estrogen. Now you got guys with freaking tits.
Yep.
Like, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. With testosterone replacement therapy in your later years these days, that's a different story. But when you're young, you have a whole plethora, and you shouldn't fuck with that. You should take advantage of it, but don't mess with the natural processes. It's only going to cause you more problems later on in life.
I agree 100%. And if you're a guy out there, you have a question, email us here, the Stay Real Podcast at gmail.com, or me at realisticfitness@gmail.com. If you have a question or whatever, we'd be happy to answer it, man. We don't judge anybody. We're just here to help and put out some love and good vibes. But that was this week's Get Real.